It's time to close down the success prevention department at your business. All the best marketing in the world cannot help you if you aren't doing this. We're going to talk about what that is next. Hello and welcome back to Midwest Mindset, the podcast that makes marketing easy to understand and simple to do. I'm your host, Matt Tompkins of Two Brothers Creative. And today on the show, we have not 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes. We have 4 dudes and a woman who is none other than Tracy Winkler of Elevate to Grow, the number 2, by the way.
Yep.
She's cool like
It's
that.
about time we get some representation on the show.
It is. It's been a little unbalanced.
That's
Yeah.
right.
A little bit unbalanced, and that's on us.
Need a good woman in
That's
here.
on us. We own that. Tracy Winkler is she's a coach, business advisor. She's done marketing. She's done EOS. She's done a whole. I mean, I don't even know. You're like doing a whole new coaching. Every time I see her, she's doing a whole new coaching platform. But they all kick ass. She's helped tons of business owners, including us here at Two Brothers Creative. Tracy also looks like the kind of woman who has to Google on a regular basis what a GILF is and still isn't sure if it's a compliment or an insult. So
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's the truth.
it actually happened. It happened.
It
She was on this
happened.
podcast and somebody on YouTube, there were like a couple people were like, look at that GILF. And she's like, what's that mean? I told her what it means.
That's so
And
old school.
it was like, I don't know. It's like, yes, it's like, you're saying that I'm hot, but you're also calling me old, a grandma. Like what the?
I am a grandma.
feel
I am a
Right.
grandma.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I'd
I
say
guess
it's a
they're young
compliment.
grandmas. They're young
Yeah.
grandmas.
I'll take it as that.
All right, let's meet the rest of the crew here today. Behind the scenes, running the switcher, the control room there, is a guy who he likes to pee in the shower, but only after he's done showering. Ladies and gentlemen, Myron McHugh. That's the kind of
Myron.
guy he looks like.
Find
That's
out
the kind of
something
guy
new
he
about
looks
you
like.
every day.
Yes. Austin Anderson is here with us again. Austin, he looks like the kind of guy who makes his own deodorant.
Oh, wow.
And thinks that it works. So-
It doesn't, Austin.
does not.
I've been sitting next to you for a while.
Yeah.
I gotta stop.
Yep.
You know, I gotta take out garlic.
Yeah.
I think that ingredient
Yeah.
is
Good for the
causing
skin.
some problems.
Good
think
for
you
the
should
skin,
add-
bad for the odor.
Add some deodorant to it. That's, I think, what you're missing
Yeah.
is the deodorant. So then I think you'll have a home run,
Yeah.
you know? And last but
Just gotta tweak
certainly not least, we have Ben, who looks like the kind of guy who brings up 9/11 a lot. Like,
I just want people to be informed. I don't want it was an important day in our history.
it was. You're right. Yes. Never forget.
But the kind of guy that might be writing a manifesto in his shed in the backyard.
Yes. I can see that.
I like to journal, Austin.
yeah.
It's reflective.
Journaling
I like,
a manifesto.
Ben, he looks like the kind of guy who likes to remove peas from the pod before he eats his green beans.
I find it tastes
One at a
better.
time. Yes. So
Therapeutic
these-
as well.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I was thinking. That
These
popped in
aren't
my head.
insults.
today
This is real.
Today we're talking about closing down that success prevention department. What does that mean? Well, you have to ask an honest question when you are running your business. That is, do you really need marketing or do you need operations? Like, do you have a plan? Do you have any way to actually capitalize or take advantage of this marketing? It doesn't matter how great the marketing is. It can be the best marketing in the universe. But if you're not ready to close the deal, if you don't have sales in place, you're not really ready to onboard people, or you provide a lackluster experience for your customers, it's not going to matter. In fact, it's going to have the opposite effect. And since Tracy is she's Miss Operations, they had the movie Miss Congeniality.
Oh,
And
really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not comparing you to
that's
her. I'm just saying that they made a movie called Miss Congeniality. For you,
I could be compared to her.
Miss.
Really?
For you, they would make Miss Operations.
yeah.
That's a cool
Oh.
nickname too.
That'd be
Miss
cool.
Operations.
Yeah, Miss Operations.
Are you
I feel
guys
like
gonna
that could
start
be a
calling me
rap
that?
album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss O.
Okay. Okay.
Don't you think? Like
We
rap
all need
album?
more than one name. You know, where it'd be like, Miss, this is Miss Congeniality.
So I have
This is
multiple
the-
names?
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
ultimate
Okay.
coach
Miss-
of America.
I'm a
Missy
gilf.
Elliott,
Yes,
right.
the
The
gilf.
education of Lauryn Hill, I think is in there. So yeah, it's a compliment.
Okay.
So Miss Operations here. So I thought this would be a great topic to talk about with you. But I wanted to start off. I wrote a little poem.
He's always writing
This is-
poems for the
I
guests.
am.
He never writes a poem for us. As
I
soon
didn't
as
even
you
know
come
that.
on, as soon as
Okay.
Miss Operations comes on the
Well,
show.
it's Miss Operations. All right. Humpty Dumpty had a brother named Paul. Paul's new business had a great fall. Paul spent lots of money on marketing and ads, but just like his Beanie Baby collection, they were worthless and sad. Ben.
Why are you looking at me when he says
Because you have a massive Beanie Baby
have
collection.
Beanie Babies at
I was
home?
really
He
big
still
into
buys
Beanie
them today,
Babies.
even though he knows.
Did you keep
this
the
isn't
collection?
true.
I sold
Do you have
it.
Princess Diana?
There's a Beanie Baby Princess Diana.
Yeah.
I have
purple
Princess
one.
Dean. Is that the
Princess
same?
Dean, I don't know.
I have no idea. I didn't
All
get
the
into
best
these.
marketing in all of the world couldn't save Humpty Dumpty's brother Paul's business at all. That was not a very good poem.
That was
but
terrible.
You get it.
I loved it.
It's Humpty Dumpty's brother Paul, so it's not going to be like the original
He's
OG
the black
Humpty
sheep of
Dumpty.
the Humpties.
So this happens, I think, more times than we think. So first, let's establish. First thing we need to understand: what is marketing? Like, what's the goal of marketing? What are we trying to accomplish?
We got to let Tracy.
Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Difference
guys,
between marketing and operations here. What is marketing?
it's actually to just get eyes on your business, and it's just to get awareness to the business.
Yeah,
a few of the things.
Get discovered.
Yep.
You're going to remind people that you exist, which
Yep.
sounds really weird, but when they're bombarded by thousands of ads every day and content every day, you need to be there in that
You need to be
space.
relevant.
You need to be relevant. You need to build relationship. Right?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's a key. Absolutely.
Trust is the foundation for anything and everything we do in life. And I would tell you like, firsthand, and Tracy, you probably speak to this, like if you establish trust, they will fill in the blanks, right?
Absolutely. You got to know, like, and trust before people try, buy, and refer.
Ooh, I heard the know, like, and trust, but try, buy, and refer.
Try, buy, and
There you
refer.
go.
So you got to
Wow.
build that first.
This is why we call you Miss Operations.
I like
You're
that.
earning the
Got
name.
There you
her
go.
shit
I'm earning my
together.
name.
Your titles
you're
are
earning it.
proven.
I think you could be the next Sandra Bullock then.
Will
with
you
cool-
give us a quick, just brief overview of your career, like how you became the Miss Congeniality of Operations?
The Miss
Oh,
Operations.
my goodness.
Yeah,
Well,
where did it all start?
that was just a couple years ago. It started. Let's just say.
I was 27.
Yep, 27. No. I worked for my family business for almost 20 years. And they have truck stops, convenience stores. There's 8 different divisions. It's called
She's a
Bosselman's.
Bosselman. She's a
So-
Bosselman. Big family out in Grand Island.
So I was 3rd generation. So slave labor in the early years didn't matter, right?
right.
So started working there after college and spent 20 years there and worked through all different divisions, making it more efficient. And I was in the ops side, everything ops, project management. After I left there was a forced buyout. There's kind of some crazy stuff that happened with family business. So I left, have co-owned 6 total businesses, owned and co-owned. And so I'm addicted, kind of that serial entrepreneur that loves business, talks business, Mrs. Operations. Did I say Mrs. or was I Miss?
Miss.
Oh,
Miss.
Yeah, don't tell
Okay.
your husband, but we're giving you a little,
Okay, I'm Miss.
little freedom, the leash isn't quite so tight on this program. It's like, wait, that sounded really,
That's a little
yeah,
weird.
that's not what I meant by
Yep.
that, but yeah. And you've been a CMO, a Chief Marketing Officer.
So it's been crazy. I am so multi-passionate that I love all things to help businesses. So by doing that, have enough certifications to probably like paper that
Wallpaper.
wall over there, So,
Yeah.
it went on. I was in medical weight loss and I owned a couple weight loss clinics and I was a regional rep and a national trainer for coaches. So I traveled all over and so, like I said, there's the coaching aspect. I always needed to market and help them market. So that's just like the 10-set tour of not Miss Congeniality, what Miss Operations.
Operations. What would
my
you
name
say is like how common is this scenario where they have marketing? I feel like there's almost 2 outcomes typically. It's either operations is working, but the marketing falls flat.
Yes.
They need to pivot because that's just how marketing works. It's A/B testing.
Yes.
And they don't. They blame marketing, and so
Yes.
then they give up on marketing, and then that can kill your business. Or marketing maybe works. Maybe it works really well, but the operations aren't in place to handle it. If you don't when I say by operations, like, do you have a sales team so that when you have been discovered, you've grabbed people's attention, you have made them aware, you are having those daily constant impressions, they know, like, and trust you, and they say, you know what? Now it's top of mind. When I'm going to buy this pair of homemade shoes that Ben has sewn together.
Nice.
Homemade shoe.
High quality.
High
Yes.
quality.
And
See-
they're made with care. And
They are.
love
And
passion.
hair,
With hair?
too, I think.
Hair.
Yeah. They're hair shoes.
On the
Okay,
soles.
okay.
Yeah.
Cat hair?
Well, it's the secret.
Straight secrets. Straight
Okay.
secret.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Can't tell you. Can't tell you up there.
Yeah, it's like the secret sauce at McDonald's.
Oh.
You know,
What
Can't
kind
be
of
Let's
shared.
just
hair
say
is
his
this?
wife's hair keeps getting shorter.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that
She
makes sense now, actually.
Okay.
So
Gonna watch my hair.
if Ben, though, if he has his marketing, it's going gangbusters, everybody is interested, and then he's not making the ask or putting out they don't know that he's even selling a product. They're familiar with him. They know, like, and trust him. You know, or in worst case yet, they walk into his store, physically walk in, and they don't have customer service. They don't have a sales team. There isn't anybody with any sort of training or experience who can take this person who is more than interested to buy those crazy pair of hair shoes. But since Ben has not invested any time into building the operations of his business, he can't capitalize on marketing no matter how good it may be performing.
That happens more than not. And most people, they think of marketing as tactical or doing one thing, and that's going to lead them there. We're going to do a social media post, and they're going to come right to us. But they've never given a real call to action. They don't have a strategy around it. Or the inside part, we can lead them to water, let's say with the marketing, but how do you get them to drink? So you got to give them the actions so they know, and they need simple actions. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, what do you think in your experience over all these years is the best call to action? You know, is it different for each scenario or?
Absolutely different for each scenario. So, and it's really what you want them to do. We have to tell them what we want them to do. It could be multiple things. So, you know, basically if you want them to sign up for an email list, if you want to have them buy, if they're, you know, it really depends.
I think the best way to make a call to action is to call them to action for their benefit. So think like Star Wars, right? Perfect example here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he is the guide. He is your business, right? Luke Skywalker is the hero of this story. Luke Skywalker is your customer. Businesses, we make the mistake of assuming we're the hero of the story when we're not. We're the guide. We are Obi-Wan Kenobi, here to call Luke to action. So we give him a plan. We call him to action. Use the Force is literally the call to action. You know, you have to give up at the end of the movie. I mean, he's got the thing, he's like pushes it away and he's like, no, man, I'm just going to use the Force. Which is like, this is how he says it. Am I
No,
remember
man.
right? No, man.
No, man,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
use the
going to
Force.
Yeah, I don't remember
Luke,
that, but, you know, that's
use
okay.
the Force.
The
And
Force,
so then he
man.
uses it. He shoots those two laser things in a very sexualized scene in the movie. I feel like that's never talked about. I mean, it's like very kind of
Yeah. I always thought that with
Very intimate.
Ghostbusters
Yeah.
and those weird things that they hold by their crotch.
Yes, that's true. You call them to action. You make the ask by not saying buy from me now, give me your money. I mean, you wouldn't say that, but like you're not that direct or that cold. This is what's at stake. All right. If you don't use the Force, Luke, then it's going to be the annihilation of your home planet of Alderaan or whatever
Tatooine.
You know.
And they're going to go to another
Ben
planet.
looks like the
And
kind
if
of
you-
guy that knows everything about Star Wars.
If you do use the Force, then we destroy the Death Star and the whole galaxy is saved, right? So painting those stakes. And I think the operations side of it, though, is one I think, would you agree, like business owners, we don't want to admit when maybe we don't have a ship that's run as tight as we think. Like we business owners we talked about this, there's like constructive delusion. Like you have to have like positive delusion to even be an entrepreneur. But I
Yes.
think sometimes we're delusional in the sense that it's unhealthy, where we think, oh, well, I'll just do marketing and it'll bring people in, and I don't need a salesperson, and I don't need to train people, and what's lead generation and what's a nurture sales campaign, and like I have to have a database. Why would I need a database to follow up with customers? Like, what do you mean it's like 5 times less expensive to get a person who's already shopped here to come back here and shop again than getting a new customer? And those are just operational things. So, I mean, there's obvious stuff like you have to keep the lights on, you have to keep enough of your product or service in stock to where you can meet the demand. But not having like sales, not having a way to capitalize on your marketing I think it's a kind of a hidden Grand Canyon of just like this mistake that I think is made more common than we realize.
Oh, 100%. Because you obviously have like all the people that are like, there's just so much to it. There's a lot of steps, so people get overwhelmed. They're like, let's do the tactical, and it's just quick and easy, and they're just going to come. And like you said, they're just got blinders on, and they're in overwhelm. A lot of entrepreneurs and founders are just trying to keep the lights on, trying to do everything to, having the galaxy blow up. Or I'm not a Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
I'm killing
It's
this
okay.
one.
No, that was perfect. I understood it because I'm not either a Star Wars.
You're not
person.
okay.
I've got everybody covered here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Star
Ben,
Wars,
and I got the
knowledge.
Star Treks
Oh.
covered on that side. So we're really
You guys were brothers growing up in a household.
Oh.
One's a Trekkie, one's a
Yeah, Star Wars.
Well, I mean,
that's-
I enjoy
you
Star
guys
Wars
get
as
along.
well.
Okay.
I enjoy Star
No,
Wars
we
as
don't.
well, but it was the sophistication of TNG, Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's just it's kind of like how do I say this?
It's for the more intelligent.
Yes. I mean, it's like,
Oh.
yes, am I wearing a pair of whitey tighties? Yes. Obviously, not the coolest look, but they're fresh, they're soft, they're Calvin Kleins versus these ratty old, I don't know what this is, Dad's been wearing for 30 years, the original series, So I don't think there's really a comparison between the two, personally. Now, Star Wars and Star Trek, we're not going to get into that because that's going to get heated.
It's going to get ugly.
Yeah. I mean,
I am going
So
to say I
brothers,
do
you have
like
to turn off
Star
the
Wars
lights.
better than Star Trek. I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
That's the correct answer.
Well, Star Wars, it's more adventurous. They have more stuff going on, but Star Trek, it's more, it's more, you respect
Aliens are
yourself
more attractive in
afterwards.
Star Wars.
There's no
They
Jar Jar
are.
Binks in Star Trek, all right? I mean, you have reasonable thought and rational debates.
And weird ears.
And weird ears. And so let's talk about how to close down this success prevention department. So you mentioned how it's like complicated, it gets overwhelming. So give Ben some simple tips here on how to what if we're looking to put something in place for a marketing strategy for a business before we even hit the ground, because you're right, they make the mistake of going for the tactics. Let's put together a strategy that includes how are you actually going to benefit from this marketing. So let's say we'll take Ben's biz. Do you want to use your human cat tree story
Yeah,
this
so
time
it's a
again?
human cat tree where you and the cat are in a tree together.
Like those carpeted trees you see?
Okay.
And you
So
can-
this is what you're selling now.
You can
Yes.
snuggle up with the cat in the cat tree. So it's a human cat tree.
So,
it's big enough for you to snuggle.
Yes.
Okay.
there's a perch.
There's a perch, there's a little compartment.
Does it take up a room?
Yeah, it's pretty much a bedroom.
So it's the bedroom for
it's
the
like-
cat, but the human can be with
Yeah.
Ben just carpeted his
Okay.
bedroom.
I pretty much did. I just
Wall to
put
wall?
Yes.
So let's say
Different
Ben
levels.
wants to sell. What's your goal with these human cat
Yeah.
trees? What's the
wanna
end goal for your business?
I want to bring happiness to cat owners, and I want to build a stronger connection between the cat and the owner.
And
I
how
wanna
do you do that?
I want to support equality.
Okay. And how are you going to do that in a
Well, yeah.
tangible, measurable way? Like, what's the metric we're going to?
Well, I feel like the more I sell these cat trees,
Okay.
that cat tree is going to be the tool that does it.
So selling cat trees.
Selling my human
is the
cat
goal.
trees.
And he's thinking ahead because he's looking at, the trend forecast about how more children are becoming cats.
Yes.
So-
I identify
Identify
as
Yeah,
as cats.
so
a cat.
he's going to jump on the market.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So selling cat trees, human cat trees, just pure sales numbers here, right? So you just listed out, and you could put this in more simplified terms for yourself at some point. But you laid out your mission statement and your vision statement. Your vision is you want to make human beings and cats equals who love and respect each other. Your mission statement can be more specific. So
Beautiful.
in the next 3 years, you could say, by the year 2028 or 22, by the year 2028, we will have sold 2,000 human cat trees because we believe that humans and cats are equals. All right.
Yeah, it's
And now
it's a
your mission
beautiful world,
statement is
isn't it?
be as simple as that. It's just that here's a tangible goal, a metric, and then here's why we're doing it.
It's kind of your onlyness statement as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what makes you so different. And this is very different.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just,
Will you be our operations?
Yeah.
COO.
I
for
don't know
hire.
yet.
cat-
I have to
human
learn
cat
a little
trees.
more. I'm a dog girl.
Okay. Well, you can have dog
So
trees.
now let's say you
It's the
so you
next
want to put
stage.
together your marketing strategy. Your end goal is here to sell those 2,000 human cat trees. So you got 3 years. So we're going to backtrack it a little bit. So maybe we're selling 750 of these human cat trees per year over average. So then we're going to backtrack that even more. How many do we need to sell each quarter, Austin?
Oh,
You know,
geez.
What's the math on that?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
I'm just gonna rough it around,
say a couple hundred,
Yeah.
200.
Yeah, I was gonna say 200, 250.
So then 200, and then now you can break that down into the months of the quarter. Ben, you remember how months work in the quarter?
Right. There's 12 of them.
In a quarter. That's right. And then, so then we're
Different
going to
kind of
break it down
calendar
to
than I know,
say
but-
75, 80 whatever your numbers are. You can break it down this simple. So this month we need 80 human cat trees sold. So that means each week of that month we need 20 human cat trees, which means we need to get
I need to get off this podcast and go start
need to go
selling
sell
some
some
human
human
cat trees is what this is
Yeah.
sounding like.
So now you have your metrics. So okay, every week we need to sell 10 human cat trees or whatever your number is.
Are they made?
No.
Yeah.
So production's a whole
Yeah, we
other.
gotta produce
So we haven't produced them yet.
Okay.
I wasn't
And-
prepared for this.
Well, we're going to help you
we're
out,
mapping
Ben.
it out.
Don't worry, we're mapping it out. It's a mind map here.
Don't
It's a mind
second guess
map.
yourself.
Okay. So you have your goals. So then now we kind of have a plan of like, how can we measure success? So here's the mistake I think that's made is we just jump into it. And we just start calling up our friends saying, hey, you want a cat tree? Hey, you want a cat tree? Hey, you want a human cat tree? And I'm like, Ben, stop calling me. I don't have a cat.
You're going to lose friends. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So putting together the strategy
I think I'm going to lose
Cat.
a lot in this.
includes how you're going to produce all these human cat trees. Where are you going to store these human cat trees? Are you going to be the only person selling these human cat trees? Are you the only person building them? Who's going to be overseeing production and quality check and just all these different variables? Do you have any of that together, Ben?
Well, that's why I'm working here at this company. I was
To
hoping
learn.
you could help
Yeah.
with this.
A little panic in your voice. It's okay, Ben. We're here for you.
I want to sell the company.
Sell it before you've made anything. That's awesome.
So Tracy, walk us through the operations side.
Sell it to the
of,
Tiger
like,
King.
We have these
You'll buy
big
it.
goals. We have metrics we can start tracking. Maybe we even have some ideas for marketing. But before we get to that, it's the operational side of it. So operations. So what would you do? What would you put together? Do you need to, accountability chart, roles, responsibilities, workflows? Where would you begin if we're simplifying this for not just Ben, but any human cat
well, this
tree
is kind of
store
a
owner?
startup, basically.
Yeah.
The way we're going about this, because
Yes.
this is just a dream in your head. Have you even built a prototype?
No. I built one out of cardboard,
So
and it didn't work.
okay.
But the idea in my head looks amazing.
That's awesome. Okay. So, so first we need a prototype.
Yes. Well, Ben
Okay.
has taken out a sizable loan from the bank, though. So I will give you credit for that. I think, $500,000?
Right.
If there, how much is left?
Well, I'm not really sure.
But,
I got to treat myself
so
Okay. We
This
got to
cat
know our
likes
numbers.
caviar.
he really needs this to work. Is what we're trying to
because
say.
I feel like I need to be in a strong mental state in order to build the first.
Okay.
And being in a strong mental state means I need to go on a number of vacations.
Forehand massages. I get it.
Okay, this is not a good start. I'm sorry to say we're not planning very well. So yes, you need a prototype. You need to actually know the numbers of what it takes to produce them, how long it takes to produce them. As Matt had said, where you're going to store these, what's the overhead, what's the cost involved. Then you have to include how you're going to get it out to the world, who's going to handle that, who's going to handle selling it, who's going to handle the internal part to get it shipped, or do you build it when you get there? Just a few little things.
Right.
I think-
Things
Put
you
it
have to
together.
measure, things you have
Yeah.
to track.
I'll just I'll just have the prototype, the blueprint. I'll just send that to the people.
With the
And
material.
They're building
No,
it.
they go out and get the
Oh,
materials.
so then, that mitigates a lot
that's
of your overhead.
even a lot easier.
Yeah, so I'll just give
you're-
them a list. Here's all what you need to buy.
So you're selling them a drawing of a human cat tree at this point.
Okay,
I
so
just thought of this.
Okay.
so now we got to
Even
sell
I
a
can
lot
see
of
Matt
things.
is losing faith in you with his eyes. I saw
I know.
like,
This
So what
is
was-
a
All right.
big selling point here for Two Brothers Creative. By the way, no.
So you're selling, in 3 years, how many units?
2,000, I think, was the random number we came up
So we're not going to be making a lot because this is just a blueprint, right?
Yes.
So this is just a side hustle.
with. So here's what I would say is go back to baby steps. All right. So
Back to
see
basics.
how quickly this all kind of spiraled out of control. And you, Ben, he's sitting here. You look overwhelmed, and you look a little.
I'm scared.
Yes, you're shaking right now.
I'm scared
You're
right now.
shaking, and like a
It's
leaf
all right.
on
Like a
tree.
leaf.
I could use a cat tree to sit in.
So instead of letting yourself get to this state, because this is usually where most business owners find them at some point early on, the first 1 to 3 years, is in this anxiety-ridden state of just pure panic, and they're just trying to tread water, trying not to drown, basically. They don't know what they're doing. They're grasping for straws. They're listening to people like us tell them, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. Just focus on the simple things, the little things, and take it step by step. So, she mentioned tracking time. So just keep track of how long does it take you to make one cat tree. Let's make one human cat tree. Let's give it to, Nana, and let Nana That's one of his cats. Try this human cat tree and beta test it. Let's see if this even works. Is there any interest? Then, okay, there's some interest. She likes it. You made some notes. You applied that to your next version or model of this human cat tree. Then you go on social media and you just do a post. Hey, here's this incredible human cat tree. Would anybody be interested in taking pre-orders now? And you can set up a simple, click funnel or an email system through your website, or just, a lot of easy ways you can do that. Message me, slide into my DMs, as they say. I think that's what that's about, right? And then you find out and you can gauge, is there interest? If it's like, wow, I got 400 requests for this thing and I just did one post. Or it could be I got 0 requests for this. People told me to stop posting about my human cat trees.
And what if they don't want to build it themselves?
And if they don't want to build it themselves, yeah. So,
right.
But then you have a gauge, because then you can do things like, okay, we're going to take pre-orders where you pay half down to help us kind of finance building out these human cat trees. And you start to build that out and you just keep track of everything. But that's how you want to work. It's kind of slow and methodical, which is, I think, it makes it unsexy. But that is how you establish an operational structure to your business. The secret about operations is that you are never done. Never done. You're always working to improve it, to fine tune it. It's never done to where you can just set it and forget it. And I think that's been one of the biggest mistakes, is we think, oh, you can just set it and forget it. I'm going to do
That'd
some
be like
marketing.
a Kodak moment.
I'm going to buy some Facebook ads. This thing's going to take off. And I just sit back and cash the checks.
So is operations the same as putting systems into place?
Yes.
Basically,
Processes.
and then the systems always evolve over time.
Yes.
You're always tweaking and, like you said, refining.
Create a system. That's
Create
the
a
easiest
system.
way to describe it.
Just like when you're onboarding a client, what's your onboarding process? When you're any type of sales, any type of accounts payable, everything should have a process to make it simplified so that it can be scalable and repeatable as well.
Even sales.
Because Ben might have like cats that he brings along, so it's something that a cat can do, maybe, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
I mean, even sales, like people that just assume, well, just go out and get some sales. But there's a method to the madness. So cold calling, still the number one way to get new prospects and land new business. People hate doing it because we hate being rejected. Austin's been in LA. It's worse than being an actor auditioning for shows.
Oh yeah, because I've done cold calling.
Oh yeah.
And I've been rejected on a mass scale.
It takes
and I think that
you're going for the no.
I think that the cold calling
it's tough.
I don't know why, because as a performer and have done stand-up for so long, I was like, when I got offered, hey, do these cold calls, it paid really well. I'm like, that'll be easy. And then, I can get up in front of 2,000 people, but calling one person on the phone, I'm like,
it's rejection.
Like,
people
really,
hate it.
like
They
stuttering.
don't like it. But it works. It's still top dog. I mean, even if you could get through, leave a voicemail, that's fantastic too. It works far more effectively than email, than messaging. And so, but
have you done a lot of cold calling?
You
in
can
your
calculate
day?
how many cold calls you need to make to close a sale, though. 100 cold calls, I get one new closed sale. So that means if I want to have 2,000 cat trees, well, I just got to take 2,000 times 100, spread that over 3 years, break it down into your days. Now I know if I make 100 cold calls per day by the year 2028, I will have sold 2,000 human cat trees.
Is that pretty much ironclad? 100 calls, one sale for people that have
I'm just
never
throwing that
really
out
tried
as
it
a
before.
hypothetical example,
It varies,
experience.
but it is the more calls you make, the more you're going to close.
Right.
I mean, it's just numbers, so you have to be scientific with it. And the more you call, and yes, I have done it. And when I slack off, I don't get as many prospects and as many deals. And it's just keeping the relationship and the follow through. So that's the same thing with systems. If people don't have the follow through, or for marketing's sake, we bring in the leads. Let's say we're helping bring in the leads, but it's their job. You lead them to water, but how do we make them drink? That's on the company, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if Ben gets all these leads and he's not like calling, well, his buddies are kind of saying no, but now he's got to start calling people he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And yes, a lot of them are probably going to say no.
Yeah.
Because he's got to get those right cat lovers.
I don't have any faith in this project.
You need to find your niche.
Oh, there might be
I've
cat
given up.
lovers like you out there. I'm just,
There's so many weird people out there like
lost hope.
you.
I like to use this is the analogy I like to use to close out this episode. Your marketing, it's like, imagine that your business is a bathtub. Okay.
The bathtub analogy.
Yes. This is bathtub. All right. So you are all the way down in the bottom of this bathtub, right? And you imagine you're a tiny little, like, 1-inch person. And then there's all these customers up at the top on the ledge up there, and they're all hanging out, and they're waving their money, and they're like, hey, we want to give you money for your product. But you got to figure out a way to get up there. So now, to do it without marketing is to, you got to figure out, you got to be able to climb a scale of a mountain. And those bathtubs are tough because it's slick, it's porcelain,
They are slick.
and it's really hard to get to the top. You are exerting a lot of effort, energy, and resources to make one sale. Marketing is like you start to let this bathtub slowly fill up with water, and you just sit in your boat, and you just let the water slowly rise you to the top to where you are now at eye level. And then people can just hand you your money. You can hand them your goods or services. It's much easier, but you still need a boat. You know, you can't be selling stuff if you're swimming in the bathtub. You need a boat for your business to be in. You need a place. You need the tools. You need the strategy. All of these things. You need the people, the strategy, execution, and the cash, critical for your success. So, and it's similar to, like, Ben, when you take baths. So I thought you'd like that one.
Stop telling people I take baths.
Twice a day?
Do you have a boat in your bathtub?
No, not a full-size one.
Okay.
Sometimes I pretend my bathtub is a boat. So we want to help you make your marketing easy. Right now in the show notes, click on the link. You can get started for free. You give us 30 minutes. We give you 30 days of content. All you got to do is book that free strategy call. We'll talk about this and more. We'll dial in on your business, see what your pain points, your needs, your challenges, opportunities, the threats, the strengths, the weaknesses, everything. A SWOT analysis. I'm really getting into this. I think I probably could have closed it a lot earlier, but I just kept going.
That's okay.
And now I feel like I can't really regain. It's like when you've left a voicemail that's gone on too long and you know it.
Oh, dude, and then you want to start over.
Yeah, I want to start over.
I hate when you do the record and send a message and it automatically sends and you want to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that? And then I'll say, this message is terrible. I'm sending you another one.
Okay. Yeah.
I just
be honest.
Throw that out
All right.
there.
So beep. Thank you so much to Tracy Winkler for joining us here today on the podcast. Of course, in the show notes, you could click on the link and get your marketing started easy. Easy peasy. Easy breezy. Beautiful cover girl. Yes. The link is in the show notes to get started for free with a free strategy call. You give us 30 minutes. We give you 30 days of content. Let us help you take the marketing off of your plate. We'll work with you to develop a strategy for your business, whether it's a human cat tree or not. And I believe that idea is now open. If anybody wants to buy the web domain humancattree.com from me, I think Ben's throwing in the towel on this.
I'm done.
Yeah.
It's only $500,000.
Yes.
Yes. $500,000. humancattree.com.